What's up, everybody? It's Alex from Heavy New York. We are back at the PlayStation Theater for the third time this week, and today we are here with Tino of Mice and Men. Thank you for your time, man.
What's up? Yeah, man, no problem. Just out here chilling. It's kind of cold and rainy, but us being from California, we don't really like that weather, so we're just kind of hanging and chilling and getting ready for the show.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you this. This is tropical compared to how it was when Cannibal Corpse played here. It was like 19 degrees and windy.
Man, we've actually been like kind of chasing these storms this whole touring cycle these last couple weeks. So it's been a little bit hectic for that, and a lot of bands are out there too. So it's been cool, like running into people and just kind of like a lot of people are still out there, and it doesn't matter the weather, doesn't matter anything. Like we're coming out, we're playing these shows for everybody that's coming out, and we're very grateful for that too.
Absolutely. Maybe you can do like a stop on a tour where it's very snowy and do like a black metal photo shoot or something like that.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully.
Yeah. But you're well into the record cycle for Defy, your latest record. Let's just give a rundown on how the making of the record's been and the record cycle thus far.
It's been awesome. I kind of want to talk about that, but I'd rather talk about, can we talk about new music?
Yeah, sure.
So check this out. So while we were still kind of like out on the Defy cycle, we started writing new material, and we've actually just kind of wrapped what seems to be our final session with producer Josh Wilbur on new material. I don't know if it's album, don't know if it's whatever. We just recorded as much as we could during the time that we could. And we're actually playing a new song tonight called How to Survive, which we dropped a music video for earlier this week. And it's a fast, thrashy, fun live song. And you can expect to hear more of that here coming soon, actually.
Awesome. So with the new music coming out, obviously we don't have a title yet, and
Sure.
I'm sure, you're not allowed to say everything, but like, can fans be expecting to hear like the sound of Mice and Men that we all know and love, or do you want to like experiment, maybe take a new approach?
I think with everything, there will always be that of Mice and Men that everyone knows and loves, because it's still us creating the music. It's still us creating the vibe of the record and everything like that. And together, I think we've really, if you check out the new song, How to Survive, and you're kind of vibing that, and a lot of people have actually said in the comments and stuff that it's kind of somewhat of a throwback sound for our band. And for us, it's kind of exactly that, but not, because we're still having fun writing music like that. And I think we wanted to get with a producer who was going to challenge us to write the most like riffy and ripping of Mice tracks that we can. And so Josh Wilbur, he has done almost all the Lamb of God records. He's done a couple Gojira records. He just did mixed the new Parkway record. Like this guy he did the new Soulfly. Dude, I mean, like, he did the Mark Morton record that everybody's hearing now with Chester Bennington on the track. And so we wanted to get with somebody that we really respected the metal that he kind of at least helmed, the steering wheel or whatever. And so he really kind of helped us materialize these like bludgeoning songs, if you will. Like we really want, like we're coming with a lot of heavy stuff. And there's a lot that we have to say about music and life and everything like that. And so right now we don't really know what's going on, because there's a lot of red tape and that. But what we wanted to do was do our due diligence and make as much new music as we could, because we want to be playing new music all the time. We always want to have something that's ready to go, that can be exciting, that we could just throw in a live set and like excite people. So if you're a fan of heavy music, if you're a fan of Mice and Men at any point in time, and you have that heaviness in your heart, you're going to really, really like this record. And whether it's this record that is out right now, How to Survive, I think take a listen to that and see what you feel with that. And I think this record is going to be less of a record for everybody and more of a record or like the material is more for the person that maybe doesn't necessarily want to hear it on the radio. Like they want to piss their parents off, or they want to piss their boss off and crank up the metal music and crank up some tunage to make them, feel good, and to kind of like get that inspirational feeling. And we're getting that a lot with the new music that we've been doing. So keep your eyes and ears peeled, because stuff. What's the thing? Weird things are afoot at the Circle K.
awesome.
Or at the ampersand. How about I say that?
Yeah. And quotes, you know, you said you want to piss parents off. Words of wisdom from Peter Steele himself. May he rest in peace. If it doesn't upset people, it's not rock music.
Exactly. And you know, it can, us as musicians, we kind of like grow up with music around us and this and that. And when we get to be here, we kind of realize like a lot of people can like chase trends, and musicians or anybody or fashion, or you look at anything, and I think there's always going to be things that are trendy and things that are like popular at the time that you want to do, or that you want to like try. And, you know, as a musician, as a creative person, you owe it to yourself to do that. But at the same time, like with Of Mice and Men, we take a subjective look at everything, and we're always trying to reinvigorate ourselves with our music and to try and inspire us, because we know if we feel inspired by the music, then the audience will feel inspired by the music. So in doing that, I think pulling all the ideas that we can together is like just super important. And pissing your parents off and doing things that are different, it's not like go out and piss your parents off, but it's like metal music and rock music and aggressive music is supposed to mean something more than just a quick little fruit stripe gum. You know, you eat the fruit stripe gum and you lose the flavor in like 5 seconds. For all you youngins, I don't even know if fruit stripe gum is even around.
I grew up
anymore,
with Hubba Bubba.
There you go. But it's like, you know, I think if you write good music and you write something that resonates within yourself, that music will resonate forever. And I think that it's important to focus on that. So that being said, our favorite bands fucking made metal music and made rock music, regardless of whether they were on the radio. Some of them were never on the radio. We're never even on MTV. We're never doing that. Like, that's not the be-all, end-all. The be-all, end-all is the audience and the fans and the people that are watching this right now. You care enough about this band to go outside of what the normal is. And, like, to us, this means more than anything like that. Like, and we know that if you're watching this, you're probably coming out to a show. You know, you want a reason to like the band. You want a reason to understand what we do. But what we do is we do it because we love it, and we will continue to make music that is scary to people, and because that's what we love. You know, that's what we grew up doing, and we will always continue to do that. So if you like Of Mice and Men as it was 10 years ago, or as it is now, or at any point in between, good, because it's going to keep happening.
Yeah. Now, working with Josh Wilbur, you know, I mean, he has a very impressive catalog. And I've always said that the producers are like the fifth Beatle or sixth Beatle. If you're in Slipknot, the 11th Beatle or something like that. When you are working with a producer, are you looking for him to add a little bit of his own mix to your style of music? Or do you sometimes approach the producer, be like, this is what we want and this is how we do it, work your magic that way?
I think in a lot of ways, Howard Benson actually explained to me the job of a producer like really well, and he's the producer that we work with on our last album, Defy, and he said that a good producer is a coach, and he has a team full of, let's call it star. He said Phil Jackson, so he's talking about the Lakers, and at the time, you know, it's like it's a team full of star players that it's like, okay, you do this good, so go do that, and you do this the best that you can, and everybody kind of has what they do, because with the Mice and Men and with the way that we create music and the way that we do things as a band, it's everybody play to their strengths and do what you are good at doing, do it the hardest that you can do it, and then we come together and we are able to create these amazing songs and thematic ideas and basically what we want to say, and the producer is there to really guide us, as opposed to like write things for us or be like, oh, you should do this and have it sing fa la 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 or whatever. Like it doesn't really work that way. It's a lot more like we're all in the room and we've got all these ideas and we're like, we like all this stuff, because when we all work together, we can all speak the same musical language. So to us, we're not really going to bring up something that we know is not going to fit for Of Mice and Men or something like that, you know, and being a musician, it's kind of like our spectrum has been widened over the years, but more often than not, you know, like somebody like Josh coming in and being our producer, we're showing him all this stuff and he goes, that is sick. Yeah, cool. Follow that. Try, maybe make it a little faster in this part, you know, speed this part up or do this or do that. And yeah, that really gets me pumped. And we're like, oh shit, that really gets us pumped too. Like, so he's liking it. We're loving it. You know, like it's kind of like it's a new frame of reference, I guess, than the four of us who have been writing the music for a really long time now. We can automatically say, yeah, we like that idea. Cool, done. But having the producer there is like, are you done?
Yeah.
How about this? Have you tried this? What about da, 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 da? And it kind of like it allows us to it's that's what makes it the challenge and what makes the juice worth the squeeze is because sometimes a song will start out like this and it'll end up like just some crazy tree of ideas that have just blossomed because if we had just done it without showing anybody, it would just stay like this. And I think with music and with that, the collaborative process is what we love. And as far as saying, just to kind of circle back around, you said like a fifth Beatle or another member of Slipknot or whatever. I think in a lot of ways it's less that, and it's more being like as I said, like a coach. And I know that there are producers that go in there and they will write that shit for you, no problem, because they want those points, they want that money. But for us, we seek our creative value, and we are so fortunate to have been doing this shit. I'm 33, dude, and I'm still making records and playing metal music when people said it would be impossible and I could never do that, and it just kind of goes to show you that with every album and with whatever you do, you kind of have to facilitate what makes things right for you, and don't go with producers that are just going to write stuff for you, and don't do, because that, what value does that have for you as an individual learning how to be a musician and how to be able to speak to the world with your music? And I think every producer we've gone with has helped us and helped sharpen our voice, if you will, and kind of like allow us to be able to speak to the audience in a better way, whether it's from super heavy drum beats or from Aaron and his lyrics or the guitar riffs or anything. Like it's really having a producer there really does help kind of like steer it in the direction if you are the one holding the wheel. Of Mice and Men is always holding the wheel to our ship, And so having somebody that is the map telling us to go this way, check out this land of opportunity and riches, or you could like have a lot of fun circle pitting to 100,000 or having 100,000 people circle pit to your song. We're going to the mosh pits, man. We're going to the fucking metal festivals, dude. We're doing what we love, and we're doing what we have fun doing, and we're doing what we used to be like in the audiences watching. Like, I don't know. I could go on forever about that, it's cool to be able to create music and to do it with people that like we respect Josh's opinion, and he listens to really sick metal music. Like it doesn't, not a lot of producers show us something that like, oh, we think this is cool, and it's fucking Crowbar. You know what I mean? And we're just like, oh, this is sick. So,
Crowbar.
Yeah, man. And
the only music you could smoke weed to and kill somebody to at the same time.
Exactly, man. And that's, that's the cool thing about metal. That's the cool thing about this alternative lifestyle music that is just, we live and breathe this, all of us, everybody, from that band to the fans to everything. And it's part of a culture. It's a huge cultural movement that sells out arenas and stadiums all over the world. And people don't call that mainstream or whatever, but it is. And it'll always be there. And for people to chase whatever, there's not worth chasing. Just have fun with what you do and play music that's true to your heart. So definitely. Yeah, get ready for this new, I've already hyped this up way too much. So new stuff is coming.
You are the best. I don't think I've ever heard any band member market so well their music. So, now one question I really wanted to ask you, going back to the fans. When I saw you guys at the Bless the Fall show, I think you guys have one of the greatest and most dedicated fan bases ever. And from talking to fans while waiting for you, it's fucking. There's a line out the door right now, and it's freezing outside.
Yeah.
And I've heard many fans say, their music helped me through so many dark times, or they inspired me to pick up an instrument so much. When you hear how a fan takes to your music, does that change your perspective on your music than when you first put it out?
I think it did at first, but it made me realize that every single fan that comes to these shows that tells me that is me, in the form of I didn't have access to my favorite bandmates. When I was growing up, the internet was like very, very in its infant stages, and especially with social media and the way bands got out there, I would have never once, I'd say hi to a band person, but I'd I'd be too like scared to go and talk to them because to me, they were so unobtainable and so like on that stage, and I wasn't there. I wasn't on that stage, but I had these dreams that I wanted to, and what their music did is it spoke to me and it showed me that all the feelings that I have can be reciprocated through music because I'm not alone with how I feel. And there's something to be said about metal music and darker music and heavy music because it really dives into what people don't talk about. It dives into your mental health and it dives into all that. And so while I've heard some of the most just heartbreaking stories of how there's a positive and a negative to everything. And I think knowing that fans can listen to our music and find the positivity in the negative, I think we didn't even mean to do that, but that's how music helps, and that's how our music helps, and that's why we won't and we cannot put out music that it is not meaningful to us, because it will become meaningful to somebody else, and if it's not meaningful to us, well then there's no point in being on that stage and having these moments with our audience where everyone's screaming back the words and we feel it all over again, and they're feeling it too at the same time. And it's a cathartic balance that we have with our audience and that we have. And I think that's truly when you say the Of Mice and Men fans and our fan base, that's because we connect with each other and we are each other. We are all in Of Mice and Men fans of music, and music helped us out of the time to be able to live the best life better than any of us could have ever dreamed. And that's to still be making music and still be connecting with fans and have them travel from all around the world. Shout out Aurora, came out today, flew all the way from Paris. Like we have fans that come, and I'm sure there's even more that weren't at the meet and greet earlier today, but it's just incredible to know that music can resound and resonate so much with people, but it makes sense because it's us and we're telling our stories. And people realize like, oh, I can connect with that. And that's exactly how all of our favorite artists did it growing up. And you don't really know that's happening until it happens. And you can kind of take a subjective look and be like, whoa, that's just like how, whoa, it's cycle music. Yes. It's saved my life so many times because my life would be nothing without music. It's everything I've ever known, all I've ever known.
So dead without music, this world.
Oh, absolutely. It's just I cannot even imagine a life without it because everything I listen to it from every perspective, and I think it's definitely like an obsession too. It's something that I'll never be able to get over that. So constantly trying to elevate the music and constantly trying to elevate the sound with Of Mice and Men is something that we have fun doing because we have fun with what we do.
Yeah, you ever heard the term "the earth without art is just eh"?
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Now, kind of, you've been really good at leading each answer into the next question, I got to say.
Perfect. That's a good flowing interview.
Yeah. But when you're playing live and you're connecting with your fans, how different of an experience is it playing your music versus playing it in like a practice space or a studio or something like that? Because, obviously you feed off your fans and and the fans feed off of you. Is there like a different type of fulfillment playing live versus either making music or practicing in your own little studio and stuff?
It's funny because these songs all start out with the four of us literally looking at each other playing them. Like we're in a circle and we play them together and we practice them. And I don't know that there is any way to be in a shoebox. Our room is actually probably this big, but a little bit higher ceiling. So this is not a very big room, people. So we call it our shoebox. And we start out and we're just like looking at each other and we can't even fathom what it would be like to play that in front of like thousands of people or, you know what I mean? Whatever. And it's not until we step on that stage that we think, oh shit, this is what we're supposed to do. Okay. It's just like practice. And we kind of laugh about that because when we're on stage and we're playing together, because we rehearse so much together and because we've worked together for such a long time, the cohesion and the musical language, we speak it very well with each other. So that familiarity keeps us grounded and keeps us making sure that we're not overthinking like the crowd or whatever. Because if you get in your head with that stuff, You're gonna fumble. You're gonna think too much about the what ifs and the what have yous when you should just be thinking about rock, 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 rock. You know what I mean? Like that's why you rehearse so much. It's like that's the test. Is like so you've been practicing, you've been studying for the test. Every night we have to take a 45-minute test on what we've done, and we are well studied. We are
Still better than a math test, right?
absolutely, absolutely. Well, for the drummer, it is math because I'm subdividing and counting and doing everything. You know, it's just funny these things that you don't think about as you get older. But in all actuality, like it always feels better walking on that stage and seeing the audience, and then when the song kicks in and we're rocking, and then the pits are erupting over here, and then there's another one over here, and then people are just starting to surf everywhere, and it just turns into absolute pandemonium. That's just like, whoa, this is the power of music, because it literally started with 4 instruments, us just looking at each other, like me looking at you right here, and we're like, this next part goes right here, and then this, yeah, okay, that's cool, yeah, cool. All right, and then we get up on stage and play it, and people are just like wrecking themselves to it, and we're like, well, that's what's up. That's so cool. So
Yeah. And I have 2 more questions for you, if that's cool. I know that of Mice and Men has toured with a variety of like different types of metal. You know, as I mentioned, the first time I saw you was at that Bless the Fall show.
Yeah.
But now you're playing with a band like Nothing More.
Right.
And you know, you've played with bands that I would almost consider to go along the lines of grindcore.
Sure.
And then I've seen, you know, you could play with a band like 3 Days Grace. Have you noticed maybe depending on like what tour you're on, maybe a different type of audience that you're playing in front of or a different reaction?
Oh, absolutely. I think every audience is different. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, where's the best place to go? Where's the best place to that? That always changes because it's not about the city, really. It's about the attendance and the people that are there and how much the music can affect them in order to reciprocate that. You know, like if someone like, I don't know, like it'll always vary. And I think when we tour with bands, we love being in front of new audiences. Like a lot of this tour has been, it's a lot of Nothing More fans out there, which is friggin' sick because they're an amazing band. Shout out our Nothing More bros. They're incredible. And to know, and their fans are, it's like a cult, man. Like it's seriously crazy. And their fans are so in love with their band. And it really, you know, it reminds me a lot of our fans that really love the people and love the music and need the personification of seeing us on that stage and seeing that we're okay and we're rocking this and life is hard, but we'll fight back harder. You know what I mean? And so between like a Nothing More crowd, or let's even say Linkin Park, you know, we played to 25,000 people sold out in the London O2 Arena. How do you prepare for that? You don't. Like, we play metal music and so does Linkin Park, but not they, you know, like they have a wide range of that. And I think seeing a band like that really taught us, Mice and Men has over 60 original songs. So there is something for everybody somewhere in there. And up to us, we're kind of like, we're a curator to be able to every tour, we try and bring what is the most of Mice and Men thing that we can do to just show people that this is a Mice and Men. And we're not trying to be anything that we're not. This is us. And if you like this, then you'll like us. And if you don't like this, then go like other music. It's totally fine. Like, you don't have to like our band. Yeah. We're not begging you to. We don't even want to beg you. Like, we'd rather just have people be honest and find the music for themselves. And if they like it, awesome. And if not, it's all good. So we are very fortunate to have toured with bands like that, to have kind of like learned the ropes. And geez, almost every band that we've toured with have become like our big brothers, and they check in on us and they want to hear new material and they want to know what's going on. And it's just like real recognize real. And I guess we've been fortunate enough to have been taken out by a lot of really real bands that really do listen to music and they really do love music and want to help us, being a younger band, show us the ropes on how to do that. And, you know, even the 3 Days Grace guys came out with the Disturbed guys the other night to the show. Dude, and that was incredible. They were back in the dressing room being like, dude, you guys were ripping. And whoa, like, this is so sick. Like, how incredible. But I wouldn't feel as good if I didn't just get up there and do me. Yeah. And if I had to do something that was contrived and something that was force-fed by some other source that wasn't like my heart right here, you know, and that's our band in a nutshell. Is if you live by the sword, you die by the sword. So you live honest, you die by that honesty. And in our music, we always try and put that forward. And so thanks to all the bands that have taken us out. And if you're watching this and you saw us on any of those tours, you probably saw people being like, "What is this? I don't know. I'm gonna go get a beer."
Well, I mean, Nothing More is a good example too, because like the last time they came to New York City, they played with the Contortionists. So like,
Dude, what a sick band.
yes,
And that's a sick bill. And I think all music can be appreciated given the right platform. Yeah. And I think with this tour, Palisades, Bad Flower, Of Mice and Men, and Nothing More, I mean, it just almost all the shows have been like selling out. So like, Nothing More did something right putting this tour together, and we've been trying to tour with Nothing More for like 3.5 years since we first heard them, and it couldn't have been a better time for the stars to align, because everybody has something really sick to offer that's on this tour, and so far it's just been so crushing that everybody's just been having a blast, and it's a true testament to just bands that rock out, you know.
Definitely. And the final question I want to ask you, because as I said before we started, we got to do a quick gear rundown.
Yeah,
so,
sure.
I mean, this guy plays the bass drum, the floor tom, the hi-hat, the crash. He plays all those instruments.
I have about 2 or 3 more of each of what you just said. So I'm proud to play DW drums. Right now I'm playing the Design Series acrylic, which is beautiful sounding, and 2 kick drums, 2 floor toms, and 2 rack toms. And also I love my DW collector's metal snares. Right now I'm using the brass 6.5 by 14. And as far as cymbals go, Zildjian all day.
Can't go wrong with
No,
that.
I mean, they are the oldest company in the world right now. The oldest company still doing business, because they've been doing business since the 1600s.
Yeah.
So they are
doing something right.
they are the premier, and so I play. So for any drummers or whatever, I play a lot of larger cymbals. So most of my stuff is like 21s, 19s, or 20 inches. And something that's been really fun on this tour, and that I've adopted into just my setup from probably here on out, is a mega bell ride that you'll hear coming in super slamming in the new song How to Survive. In that guitar solo bridge, I'm just going to town and just belling your face on that guy. The ding 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 ding. And so that's really fun to me. Self-proclaimed billionaire, have been, will always be. And I think that to have fun with what you play. Oh shit, forgot. Evans drum heads. Yes. Just laced it up right now. Let me show you a pic real quick, because you're going to love this. Check it out, dude. I laced it up with some gnarly red drum heads. Look at that.
Oh my God.
This thing is looking...
Holy shit.
It's star shit.
The camera's going to focus.
Yeah. Here. But yeah, so I'm using the Evans red hydraulic heads, which we just laced it up with today, and it just sounds so thick. If you are a drummer or want to ever talk music, send a tweet to my Twitter, Young Fuego. And I love gear questions. I love all that. I'm a gearhead myself, which is how I became so fortunate to be with all these companies, because I love the research and development of everything, and to be with the top companies in the drum world is an absolute dream come true. So all I want to do is talk about that stuff. So hit me up on my Twitter, Young Fuego, Fuego. And yeah.
Do you use the gear you use because it's suitable for the style of music you play, just because it's more comfortable? Because in the end, not to discredit drumming at all by any means, but, it's the most primal instrument. Your drummer sucks, your band sucks. And, there's a feel that has to go along with it. There's, a sound, and, you have to keep rhythm and keep beat the whole time. So is it just you're the most comfortable playing it? That's just what you use the longest? Is it?
I'm always I like to try new stuff. And a lot of people, like some people come and be like, "Oh, why are you playing? You play DW? Why are you playing an acrylic kit? They make the best wood kits." I know. I have a couple of them. They sound insane. But it's kind of like I wanted to throw the drum lights in there. Shout out the company Drumlight, and that's how the drums light up. And I think that with every tour, with every stuff, with every, I guess, sometimes I just get an itch and I want to add something to my kit. And thankfully I have companies that will send stuff out and I can try it out and do whatever. And so that's kind of why I say, like, if people have gear questions, ask me, because chances are I've tried it and I've tested it, and I could tell you what I like about it, what I don't like about it, what the application is and what it's not. And at the end of the day with drums, it really, to what you have and what you own, it's your personal preference. And a lot of people, like, let's take Chris Adler, for example, his snare, I don't know that I would, like, I love his snare sound and it's so iconic, but that's Chris Adler, like, I'm not going to chase that. Like, that's his, so with every drummer, you kind of want to find your own thing and just, I guess, accentuate your playing, because being a drummer, you're a very special breed, like you said, because it is primal and it is something that starts from within you and that you develop as you practice more. And it just comes from that. And so I think, as far as for the acrylic kit, normally I use bigger shells for my drums. Like right now, I think my floor toms are 14-inch and 16-inch, where normally I use 16 or 18. But to me personally, the difference is not like that. It's not that crazy. I mean, are people going to mosh harder because the floor tom is 2 inches bigger?
You would be amazed. Have you ever seen Chelsea Grin play? I mean,
oh, hell yeah.
Come on, like,
shout out Pablo.
Yep.
Another DW.
Yeah, like, I mean, there's certain bands when you hear that double bass build up, and then just da 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 da.
For sure. And with that, it also boils down to I can't take all the credit because I'm the one that just gets up there and pounds it. I really do have to shout out my drum tech, D-Mac, and my sound engineer, Jim, because it's all of us working together. I hit hard, my drum tech makes sure that everything's held down, and my dude Jim holds down the sound for live. And that's exactly how it's a team, and we work together, and we're coming out here and we're giving you of Mice and Men. And I need, in order to do that, my team, we got to be tight, and so it's just much appreciation to them and to the companies out here that really do support what I do and the life that I live and the sounds that I want to create too, Yeah.
So before we go, I want to thank you so much for your time.
Yeah,
just when can we be expecting the new Of Mice and Men record? If you're allowed to say, this will be aired by midnight.
We absolutely have, as I said, we have no idea, and we don't even, it's not even anything yet. So it's mute. We're sitting on music. And if you go dig on our Instagrams and stuff, you'll see some sick photos and some sound clips and some other stuff. We've just been kind of like patiently working on something really, really special, and it's gonna resound, I think, and resonate a lot with everybody. So just keep it locked with the Mice and Men. Follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, or text us, or I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like, just be in the know, be on the lookout. As always, please check out our tour dates and when we're going to be coming back, ofmicetickets.com. And right now we've got some really cool stuff, really cool survival kit that we did for How to Survive. So check that out at ommhowtosurvive.com. And if not, go turn music up loud and have fun and bang your head.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much,
Yeah,
Tino.
thank you guys so
Everybody, Tino of Mice and Men. We'll see you next time on Heavy New York.